because it drizzles. We're not from here, so we're not crazy like that. No offense to my native Southern California nurse.
Yeah, I show up to work and no one's there. I'm like, where is everybody? They're like, what are you doing here? It's raining. I was like, what do you mean, what am I doing here? It's raining.
He's not kidding. Like, he's not kidding.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, Bethany Wilson here from Rough Start Rehab, Dog Training and Rescue, also known as Dogger Size. This is my assistant, Mr. I'm gonna go put on something cold, Chris Davison.
I was cold.
No, but you said you were gonna go put on something cold.
Well, I was cold, and I put on. This was cold when I put it on.
Because it was back in the back of the closet.
Well, yeah, but now it's warm, and I'm a little bit warmer thanks to my good old Falcons coffee cup.
It's raining in SoCal, so everybody's freaking out. Where my husband works, people actually call out sick and use sick days because it drizzles. We're not from here, so we're not crazy like that. No offense to my native Southern California nurse.
Yeah, I show up to work and no one's there. I'm like, where is everybody? They're like, what are you doing here? It's raining. I was like, what do you mean, what am I doing here? It's raining.
He's not kidding. Like, he's not kidding.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Really happy to have you guys here. And we're going to jump right into some training questions. And Chris made it very clear, because this is number 5, he made it very clear that number 4 was really long, and I'm very long-winded, and I should be more entertaining and cut it shorter.
I never said that. I did say that.
That you did say that.
I did.
And I've decided not to listen to him because I want to give as much value to you guys as possible. And if you don't want to listen, then you don't have to listen. Even if it's just for my one person who asked me the question, they value my very long-winded answer. So I just don't want to miss anything. I can't.
I think what they're really wanting, though, is my motivational quote of the day.
No, I don't think so.
That's what they're tuning in for, and I have a doozy.
I only gave you that so you could feel like you're,
I am
adding value.
I'm special.
I know.
My mom told me I was special.
I know. We're going to start with question number 1 now.
Question number 1 is from Yvette Aguilar. How many sections a day you worked with a puppy and for how long? Thanks for the puppy videos. They are very helpful.
Okay, so how many sections a day how many times a day do I work with a puppy? That really depends on the puppy.
Oh, it's probably sessions. I'm sorry.
Sections a day. Sessions, yeah. How many times a day? It really does depend on the puppy, but when I'm doing like a board and train, like me specifically, if I bring a puppy into my home that's under 5 months old, they get a lot of sessions, at least 5, because they're really short. If some puppies may only be able to handle 5 minutes. The puppy that, there's a really sweet Australian Shepherd puppy video is the one that she's referring to on patterning. He was a little bit older and very focused. So I started with about 10 minutes, but by the end of a week, we were doing 20 minutes, and that was after a short walk. So it really depends on the drive of the puppy. Basically, when you really start to struggle, when you see their attention waning, you need to find more motivation. You either need to get more excited when it comes to puppies, or they need to be hungrier so you can use their daily food, their kibble. So let's say that your dog's not really responding to you and you go to work all day. Don't feed them that morning so you can work with them with their kibble that night. Now, you can't do that when they're super young, like 6 or 8 weeks old. They need spaced out food, but that's definitely an option.
From the mama.
No, not from the mom. They're weaned by then.
Oh, by 6 weeks. Sorry.
But you can definitely, figure some balance out there to get them just a little bit hungry. So you can, do sessions as soon as you get home, take a break, a couple hours later, do another session, lots of food, take a break, a couple hours later, that kind of thing. I would say that, in a normal home, if you can do 3 short sessions a day, you're in a really good place. And again, it depends on the attention span of that puppy. I have gone to appointments where I've been able to work with a puppy that's 12 weeks old for a full hour to hour and a half. Like the dog is starving for structure and starving for something that, you know, to tell them what to do, that they're with me every second, and it's incredible. Then I might go to another appointment and 10-15 minutes and the puppy's like, I'm gonna go to my crate and take a nap. And then we just talk about things we need to talk about for a while, and then go back to the puppy and try to motivate him. So it really depends on the dog, but hopefully that gives you an idea. You know, if you're doing 3 short sessions a day, I mean, even 5 minutes, you'll find so much value in that, because it's 5 focused minutes. Morning, come home from work, and evening. You'll get a lot of value out of that. Just to start with. I mean, it's got to be more later on, but just to start with. All right,
moving
See, that
on.
was fast.
It was quicker, a little bit faster. Yeah. This is from Karen Niricato.
I know, I have no idea.
I have no idea how to...
Niratko. I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Cool. All right.
It's Karen. I think that part's
Karen.
right.
Got Karen.
Karen wrote, "Love your videos. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. My pup, 5 months old, does really well when we're in the training mode, but I feel like he goes right back into his antics a few minutes later. Play biting is our biggest issue right now. I'm trying to follow your methods from this video and a few other similar videos, but I'm not sure how to deal with him, and we're not necessarily in a training session, and he won't listen to me. It's really frustrating, and ultimately I end up putting him in his enclosure. I just feel like I have to be in training mode every minute of the day, and it's exhausting. Any advice?"
So if you had a young child, because that's basically what a puppy is like, a toddler running around with no diaper, you'd have to be on top of that toddler all the time when they're out of their crate. So that's kind of what that is. So not to say that you're stuck with it, this is your life and live with it, but just to kind of give you an idea, that's pretty normal, honestly. But you do have to hold that dog, more accountable, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. Did she say 5 months old?
Yes.
My pup is 5 months old. Okay, so I wrote some notes here for you, because 5 months old, I barely even call a puppy anymore, because they're almost practically an adolescent. So they start being more pushy. They start being more bratty. If they're confused and they start play biting or puppy biting, it's much more harsh than a 12-week-old puppy. There's a huge difference between 8 weeks and 12 weeks and 12 weeks and 16 weeks and so on. So that pup is really at an age where you need to start holding him accountable. It's not enough to work on a little blocking and a little bit of redirection training. That's not enough anymore if you're still having problems with this and the puppy's 5 months old. I don't remember the breed, but it doesn't really matter. Basically, I would say, for one thing, be a little bit more proactive. Don't wait till your puppy starts acting up in order to put him away. If you can't watch him and he hasn't had enough exercise, or he's just in the bad habit of following you around and tormenting you, you need to be more proactive. He gets his exercise, he gets a little bit of training time, he goes in crate. A couple hours later, he comes out, he gets his exercise, a little bit of training, back in crate. Just get on a schedule so you can prevent a lot of this from happening in the first place. But it will still happen some, so you still do have to address it. So I would just say, at that age especially, he shouldn't be that bitey. He should definitely be kind of testing you and stuff, but it shouldn't be like what you're describing. So what I would do is I would start him on a really basic, very, very gentle prong collar training to layer with the basics that you've already taught him. He goes right back to it. Him, sorry. Go back to the, just to layer onto the basics you've already taught him. That way you can start correcting him for bad behavior. So go online. Unfortunately, I still don't have prong collar how-to videos up yet. So look up Tyler Muto. It's M-U-T-O. Just type in Tyler Muto, prong collar 1 and prong collar 2. So prong collar 1 teaches you all about the prong collar, why it's so good for training, doesn't put any pressure on the trachea, the way it was designed. It's made to where you're supposed to be able to use it really gently if you do it correctly. So you don't have to be harsh with your dog. But I won't get into all that. look at those videos, start doing those basics, so then you can start to hold your pup accountable for those bad behaviors when you are, when you do have him out. So also what I would like you to do, just to give you, a little bit more of a starting point, is at 5 months old, he should be doing place regularly, but he should be able to do some duration. And what I mean by that is 10 minutes, 15, 20, 30. Dusty's an adult dog, but when we first got him, we started him at about 20 minutes, and now he can easily lay there for 3-4 hours. Now your puppy is 5 months old. I know, I understand that, but you can definitely build up to an hour over the course of a month, if you work on it, and that's really, really important. Duration place. So go on my website, roughstartrehab.com, RUFF, and you're going to see a golden retriever named Winnie in the transformation videos section. I think she was 16 weeks old, maybe 18 weeks old, and she had some severe fear issues with just of life. But at home, she was barky and bitey and snappy and all that bad behavior. And even though not all the videos on my puppy playlist with her, sometimes I used a slip leash on her, but that's after we had already worked through prong collar training. So I would definitely really look into that. You can see her demeanor, and maybe that might make you feel more comfortable that that's the avenue you should go down. Maybe not. It's really up to you, but that's what I would do. And then just a side note, that you can't really do body blocking if a dog just isn't respecting you at all. So when you put a training tool like that on a dog and you know how to use it properly by watching those videos, then you can kind of teach spatial pressure, and then the blocking will work. What I mean by spatial pressure is when you work on place and you work on duration place, and the dog starts to get up and you're at the end of a leash and you just go no and you start to move in, the dog resets. So they start to learn spatial pressure, moving in, backing off, stuff like that. That'll really help you a lot over time.
All right then. Moving on. Back to me, the important one.
The important one. Yes, you are.
Or he is.
He is.
I think he thinks he is.
Are you the important one? Yes. Oh, yes, he is.
Okay.
He's spoiled.
Next question is from Will. Why do on some of your videos you instruct viewers to massage instead of petting the dog?
Oh, I like this question a lot. Okay, so massage versus petting. So you never pet a dog, ever. You pet a state of mind. So right now I'm petting ornery, silly behavior. So I'm going to be more likely to get more ornery, silly, cute behavior. If I pet a fearful dog, I'm encouraging fearfulness. If I pet an aggressive dog or hold, like if something I see a lot is dogs going after other dogs and their owners will actually hold them back. That's physical touch. That's like a whole hand, okay? So that's encouraging that behavior. Just like when we say sit, good dog, you're petting them. So how do they know the difference between that versus them being scared and you petting them? You're reinforcing that behavior. So the reason that matters is massage is a little bit different. Massage does the same thing for dogs and acupuncture, actually, that it does for humans. It sends good endorphins to the brain, and it relaxes them. But here's the thing. You don't do massage if your dog is acting badly or behaving badly, and what I mean by that is like lunging and barking or growling. So like I might have a nervous, fearful dog, at the park, and I've worked with down, and we're just observing other dogs at a distance, and they're like this. I might start to massage them. It depends on the dog, but I might start to massage them and help them relax. But if they start growling, I stop massaging. I correct. No, there is none of that crap. So it's a really good tool to use for dogs that are nervous or fearful, to just help them relax. We recently had a small dog that had severe fear issues. I couldn't even get any tools on her without her trying to bite me. And I slowly worked my way up towards her, and I started massaging at the base of her spine and slowly worked my way up to her neck. And she liked it so much that she didn't try to eat me again. And I was able to at least get a leash on her. Sorry if you hear that out there. So that's the difference between the two. So massage is something that you can actually do for training purposes. It's actually really beneficial in certain situations. Our German Shepherd used to be really afraid of being on docks, and we would have him lay down and we would massage him till he was completely over on his side and okay. Now when he had to get up and walk again, it was rough for him again, but it was doing that consistently, and pairing it with basic obedience and some other things that helped him overcome it to where he at least didn't hate it anymore. So just little things like that. Alrighty.
Wow, he wants to be on camera.
I know. He's a camera hawk.
Look at me. Hey, look, the next question is from Will. Again.
Yeah, it's a part 2.
I enjoy watching all your videos. Sometimes my dog, small Min Pin, just does not come because he is scared, cold, distracted, or tired, or etc. He absolutely 100% knows all of his commands, including come, and does it except in some circumstances like this. This video has been very helpful, but please let me know your thoughts.
The cold one was a weird one to put in there, Will. Is your small Min Pin cold all the time?
I was cold earlier.
He was cold earlier, it's true. So he put on a sweater, so maybe
and
first...
I got hot coffee.
Hot coffee, so maybe, well, you can't give hot coffee to your dog, but maybe your dog needs a sweater, Will. I mean, really, sweater. Okay.
So this is LA, and everyone puts clothes on their dogs.
On their dogs.
Yeah.
It's true.
So.
But this would be for a functional purpose, apparently. I think he means like he's all like curled up.
I know.
Yeah, but I did think it was funny. Okay, anyway, sorry. Picking on you. But, okay, so I would say that your dog knows the command. But, for instance, Dusty knows all of his commands very well. But when he sees a squirrel, those commands get a little muddled. It's a little rough. We're working on it. Some days are great, and I'm like, yes! And other days I'm like, oh. So that's something specifically that I'm trying to proof him around, okay? So I would say that you haven't worked your dog in a motivational way enough to be able to get that out of him, to be able to get him to come to you when he's tired or curled up tight and a little bit chilly or distracted by something. You teach the dogs their basic commands in a low level, low stimulation environment, but then you gradually add more and more and more things to it, okay? So I would say you just haven't done that enough. You can't just expect it all to cross over easily. And even if you did, but there's been like maybe a huge break, several months where you just haven't been out that much with him, you can't expect him to be able to handle it again. It's something that's got to be kept up consistently to really see, consistent recall, because recall is tough. Another thing I would say is you need to find the right motivation, and there's a lot of motivation for dogs, so it just depends on how you train. It could be food, it could be through correction purposes, or it could be through play purposes. And there's even some other areas in between. I use a balanced method between using food drive and because I told you so drive. So I like to take a balanced approach to it, and for me it depends on the dog. 75% of the dogs that we get in here for board and trains, I don't use a lot of food because they typically have drive issues anyway. Like they typically have too much drive, and I'm trying to squash it as well as refocus some of it and build a bond with more than just food. And then with some dogs, I need more motivation, so I'll use the food. But my goal is always to wean them off of it and build that bond through something deeper. But I would say in the beginning, you need a leash so you can reinforce it, and you need food. Like for him, whenever I was training him to do recall off of squirrels, he was on a long line for probably 2 to 3 weeks. And if I go to a new park, a new area, I bring my long line just because I haven't had him long enough to really proof him in a lot of different park-like situations. So I need to do that. Just because he's okay in one park doesn't mean he'll be okay in all parks. I need to do it at a few different parks to really proof him. So just keep those things in mind. I'm sure you're doing everything right. You're probably just missing that one step. You can't expect, everything when they know him in low-key situations. You got to proof them for just about everything.
You're done?
I'm done.
Wow.
I think Chris fell asleep.
I fell asleep. I'm sorry.
I think he fell asleep.
All right.
I heard twice.
That was from him, though.
No, that was you. That was you. I need you to at least pretend that you're interested and this is entertaining.
I am glued
Especially since I yell at you because you don't handle the dogs properly all the freaking time. You could really benefit from listening to all of this.
I know not what you speak of.
Read the next question.
Coffee's good, isn't it?
You're just about fired.
Coffee's good, isn't it? Did a good job.
It's okay.
I'm a good barista. Barista. All right, whatever. The next message is from Cassie Lynn G. 1991. All right. Good evening. My name is Cassandra. Hello, Cassandra. Cassandra is from Maine. I've been watching your puppy training videos on YouTube. I'm getting my first puppy in mid-February. He or she will be a Maltipoo. I plan on crate training, but my question is, of course, I do crate training first. What would be the next thing I would start training? Also, once I start training the puppy on some things, how long should I wait to add something new, like sit? Cassandra.
Cassandra, you snuck in a two-parter. All right, Cassandra. I love your name. It's very pretty. Okay, so really, it's really interesting thing with dogs is that dogs only know how to do what you've taught them and what you've spent time with them on. You would be amazed what I can accomplish with a puppy in a week. They can learn all of their basics fairly solid, except for Heel. Heel's a little bit of a harder one with the ones under 12 weeks. But it's like a loose leash Heel. But yeah, I mean, whatever, sky's the limit. So start with your basics, your crate, and then if the puppy is food driven, go ahead and start teaching him to wait for his food bowl. I got videos on that online, waiting for food. And then go ahead and dive right into teaching place with like a mat and a bed, do both. Place down. Now you can focus on sit as well. That's perfectly fine. I don't do a ton of sits. I mean, the dogs will sit at the door and they might sit next to me if people are talking to me, out on a walk or something. But a lot of times they'll just end up laying down anyway. I do a lot of down works. It's just more calming. But yeah, work on sit, work on down, and work on come. All of those things really, really right away. And there is no how long should I wait. On a puppy's first day, if they're food driven, we work on waiting for food. If not, obviously I don't make them wait if they're too nervous to even take the food. But if they're food driven, we do crate, waiting for food, the crate door, coming out, slowly rather than bolting out. So I do the crate door exercise, which is on my videos. And we start working on place, sit, and down right away. Like it's all in one day, a few short sessions dispersed throughout the day. I do that for several days. And then I start for exercise. I do come in a separate session. So I guess I should say that, you don't teach it all at once. You don't do 15 minutes of come, sit, down, place. You do place for a few minutes, give a break, place, and then add in a sit, give a break, place with sit, give a break, and then by the evening you can be doing down like that. And then the next day in the morning, the pup needs exercise before you go to work. Start working on come, sit, break. So you ask the puppy to come to you, tell them the sit with the hand motion up, say break, drop some kibble on the floor. They chop up the kibble, they eat up the kibble while you take off in the other direction to give space. So you've got exercise while teaching come. So they work for their daily kibble. So really, I mean, the sky's the limit. You're gonna be amazed how at 10 weeks, she can work so much more. She can work 15 minutes, whereas at 8 weeks, it was only like 2 minutes of focus at a time. You know what I mean? So every puppy is different, so it just depends on your pup. When they start losing interest, it's time to take a break.
Done?
I'm done.
Oh, okay. All right. Wait, hold on. I'm the scroller of the questions.
No, that's all you need. I was just putting it in the right place for you.
It is my
You're
job
so
to
touchy.
control the computer, and the scrolling is from Andy. Love your videos. Everyone says love your videos. I'm thinking that you're adding this into the question.
No.
She's like, everyone
I'm just
loves my
leaving
videos.
I'm just leaving it
like,
in there. Yes.
You say I pat my back all the time.
Wait till you read the next one.
All
She's
right.
like really nice.
Okay.
I left it all in there.
Okay. About a week ago, I got a puppy who is 7 months old and is the sweetest guy ever. He's very calm, relaxed, and is the sweetest thing at home. But when taken outside, he is deadly afraid of everything and every noise. I've gotten to the point of training him to be more relaxed, but I must carry him a bit away from home for him not to try to pull me home. We won't come anywhere close to the front door, or even let me take him outside without carrying him. What can I do to calm him down and be able to go out the front door without him trying to run away back inside? He walks with his tail down and is very cautious of everything. If he knows we are close to home, he will pull his hardest. I rely on being outside with a leash to train my dogs, and if I can't do that with him, it's tough. Thank you in advance for the response, and sorry for the long comment. Andy.
I'm so sorry, Andy. That's really rough. That's really rough. I feel you. It's really hard to have a fearful dog. I mean, I will take a dog-aggressive dog or a human biter, and I can turn them around in 2 weeks. But when I get a dog like what you're describing, I tell the owners that I need them for a minimum of 4 weeks to really see a significant state of mind change in the dog. And that's with me working with them, 24/7. Just trying to build confidence. So this is tricky. There is no easy answer to this. With fearful dogs, there's a lot of give and take. When to push them, when not. But I have to pick on you some. I mean, the last thing a dog would ever do to me is stop moving. I mean, I've worked with feral dogs. I've worked with dogs that I put a slip leash on them, and they've done alligator rolls and pooped everywhere and peed, and it doesn't matter. That dog is still gonna walk back to. We might go ahead and head right back on home after that happens. You remember Pacino?
Yeah.
That's who I was thinking of specifically in that case. But anyway, because the habit of picking up your dog, they know. It's like a dog whining in a crate and then you letting them out. Oh, that's how I get out of here. I whine. You gotta find a way out of that. The only exception I would say is maybe if you picked them up to take them somewhere, but they had to walk back calmly the way home. But here's the thing: he's never gonna walk calmly on the way back home if you don't get him to walk out on his own. So you're in a real conundrum here. Okay. So I forgot about this question. I didn't take notes on this question, so sorry if I sound a little all over the place. But I know exactly what I would like you to do. Go to my website, Rough Start Rehab dog training. Oh, sorry, roughstartrehab.com. I know it's Dusty's hair. It's flying all over the place.
What was that?
Roughstartrehab.com. No, go to the basic videos page and start teaching basic obedience. Dogs will only build confidence through knowing what it is that they need to do. So like if a dog goes out on a walk and freaks out, I don't know what to do. Correction, look at me, sit, lay down, and they go, oh, I know what that is, and they're able to do it. It's instead of them having the coping mechanism of tail between the legs or being picked up and coddled, it starts to become the obedience, okay? That's what I want them to fall back on, is their basic obedience. So also what I would like you to do is go to my Facebook page, Rough Start Rehab. You're gonna see this little dog, and tons and tons of videos on her were posted over the last couple of weeks. She is what you're describing. So it was nothing but tons and tons of confidence boosting in the house, and then me trying to take all the obedience I taught her and try to get her to do it outside the house. And the way I was able to accomplish that is 3 ways. One is she didn't eat for the first 3 days. Highly fearful, aggressive dog. Pees and poops everywhere at the vet. Pees and poop when she saw me. Tried to eat me out of her crate. It was fun. So she, not only would she not eat, but if I had left her food and walked away, she might have eaten. But that completely negates the whole point of me training her. So she didn't eat out of my hand She didn't eat anything at all. So that's how we started. That took 3 days. So I still only fed her in small increments because I still wanted her to be hungry to see how long it took for her to take food outside. By like day 6 or 7, if there were no distractions, she was able to take food outside. So then we started working a little bit on that. I would do massage outside with her, get her to relax a bit, then she might take a few pieces of food. That's a victory, you know what I mean? But with that being said, I mean, I would have never, unless she was in danger, I would have never picked her up. So like I had her on slip leash the first couple of days, and she had this habit where she would pull away from anything she's scared of. When I didn't let her do that, she started screaming when she saw people because she was fearful of people and aggressive. So usually she would pull away from people. She's just on a slip leash. She starts screaming. I let her scream. She can throw her little fit. I'm not going to pick her up. I'm not going to save her. It didn't take very long. She was like, no one's like, this isn't what normally happens. I let her relax, give her a little pop. We walked down the rest of the street just fine with those people in front of us. So I'm not saying it's going to be that simple for you because, I mean, I've been doing this forever. So, but I'm just trying to give you just an idea of a kind of mindset that, in my opinion, you need to have to help this dog. So that's just the basics. You really want to help this dog? You really want to go hardcore? You need to do prong collar training and e-collar training. Low stimulation e-collar training, not correctional training. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about when a dog goes and gets an e-collar zap for seeing or smelling a rattlesnake. That's aversion training. That's not what I'm talking about. Low-level e-collar training is the ultimate tool for big or small dogs for fearful and anxiety issues. It is incredible. There is nothing better. I've been doing it for 2 years now.
2, 3.
And I have rehabilitated more fearful dogs, dogs from puppy mills, dogs from hoarding situations, and just spoiled little brats. And even 7 months old. Yep, 7 months old is old enough. And I'm talking low levels, like levels 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, maybe a little higher when they're under stress, out of 100. I don't mean go and buy some cheap, crappy e-collar from, I don't want to say a name, but that just has 8 levels where it's either too low or too hot. I'm talking about a nice e-collar with top-notch technology where they don't use electricity anymore. There is no shock. It is a very blunt, plain feeling stimulation. It's the same thing that they feel at like if you've ever gone to the chiropractor and they do those electrodes.
Physical therapy.
Yeah, physical therapy. Who was that the guy that made it famous?
Oh my God.
Bruce Lee. He would put those all over and they stimulate muscles. That's what it is. And you can whisper to a dog, or shut up. You can whisper to a dog, or you can shout to a dog. And sometimes when a dog is really fearful and locked into something, you need to go a little higher and say, come here, and snap them out of it. And they go, oh, okay. It can be used for positive motivational training. So if that sounds like, well, holy crap, I'm desperate. I'm going to try it. Or maybe you know a little bit about it and you're like, sure, yeah. And I just gave you the push that you needed. What I want you to do is check out Sean O'Shea from The Good Dog. So Sean, S-E-A-N, O'Shea, O-S-H-E-A, from The Good Dog. He just put out an incredible how-to DVD series on low stimulation e-collar training it'll transform your dog. And you also pair it with prong collar training just for guidance, which you definitely need to do for a fearful dog, because the slip leash, a lot of times it just doesn't do any good. You'll get more fight back from it. But you know, it's you give and take. With a prong collar, though, I will say you're always supposed to have them super snug. For a fearful dog, have it a little bit looser than the super snug that you typically have with more driven dogs. Just little tip there. But that's what you want to do. You want to go get e-collar Educator Mini 300 from e-collar Technologies. So I'm going to say that again. Educator Mini 300 from e-collar Technologies. It's their most basic, least expensive collar. So you go on Amazon, type that in, get it. Buy this DVD series from Sean that he just put out. You can get it online or an actual DVD. It's incredible.
And she doesn't get kickbacks for mentioning it.
Yeah, I don't get kickbacks. He's a neighbor. He has more experience than me. He actually is one of the people that got me into this. But he just put together this great e-collar series.
As far as the e-collar stuff.
Yeah, as far as the e-collar stuff goes. And not the training. I've been doing that forever. But I've never found something that can turn a dog around within a matter of a few days sometimes, or with really bad cases a few weeks. So
it's more of a calming tool.
Yeah, it is. You can absolutely use it for a calming and settling tool. There are some exceptions. The little dog that we just had, she was a screecher. Like I mentioned before, I could brush up against her and she'd go, ah! So we had to go really, really low on the e-collar to make sure that, it was just to where like, it was literally like this or like this. But the problem with leash pressure and physical pressure is it's so invasive to a dog and they just feel overwhelmed and they can't do it. But when they have like something that's removed from the human and you teach them what it means, I mean, they can just cope so much faster. It's incredible. Okay, so I'm going to stop. You can do that if you like. And yeah, just send them. I would go on their website if you're interested. Send them an email because I think they have a separate fancy website for their e-collar DVD series now. But yeah, I hope that helps. Last but not least, I got this adorable picture. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Look at the little redhead. Oh my gosh.
Oh, check it out.
Isn't she red? Maybe that's just the coloring. She might be blonde.
I don't know.
I think she looks red.
This family has a house full of...
I know.
Yeah. Wow, you guys are...
We got the cutest picture from this woman, and they're cute little, they're golden retriever, of course, or Labrador maybe. I think it's golden.
We'll find out in a second once I read the...
4 really young kids. So great. Okay, read it.
They're all lounging out there on the chairs. All right.
Such a great pic.
Question is... Oh my gosh, of course. Love your videos. Here we go. Again. Look at that. I think I'm seeing Bethany's writing this in here. Oh,
No,
this is the...
you're
I'm reading the old question again.
This one.
Sorry. I ran across your videos on YouTube. Thank you so much for taking the time to help so many people. You are a blessing to so many people with fur babies.
Thank you.
Go ahead, pat yourself on the back.
No, I don't do that. That's you.
Okay. We have a 10-week-old lab poodle chow pup named Josie.
Lab poodle chow pup?
So I'm guessing it was a lab poodle mix, or a lab chow mix, or a poodle chow mix, or a lab chow mix, or a poodle chow mix. Did I get all those variations?
I think you covered it.
I think I missed possibly some of them. But the name is Josie, and Josie is 10 weeks old. We also have 4 extremely busy kids, 4, 5, 7, and 8. Oh my gosh, you guys have been busy. Yes, we're a bit crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see that. The problem we're having is probably more on the kids' end of things. Ours likes to get down on the floor with Josie and play. Josie gets too riled up and has bitten, breaking the skin on several occasions. She growls a lot with play, and I didn't realize until I saw your videos that that's not to be tolerated on any level. She's also food and treat aggressive. And if she's trying to rest and one of the kids bothers her, she will bite. We are trying to work with her and we're committed as a family. But I can't seem to find some solid advice online for our situation. I'm unsure how to train my kids to be around her. She uses crate while we're out and while we're sleeping, and the kids have been taught not to bother her if she's in there. But she barks and cried incessantly if we lock her in while we're home during the day, which is most of the time since we homeschool. Thank you for any advice. It's truly appreciated, Amanda.
All right, Amanda. Chris, you might want to just take a nap for this one. I think this will be my longest one yet.
Oh my god. Am I out of cough?
Just drink mine. Just drink mine.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
All right. So, I have a lot of puppy info. Don't distract. Just be good. Try to... Last one. Try to stay focused.
I'm good.
Don't distract.
I'm good.
So, we don't have children yet, okay? But I'm not going to shy away from what I'm about to say because I've been around a lot of children. I'm the oldest with huge gaps between me and my brothers, and I grew up around a lot of kids, and I work with families in your situation on a regular basis. So I get it, is my point. It's not easy. It's not ever going to be easy. With that being said, I can't help but just say, yeah, it's mostly the kids. You've got to train your kids. It is just as important, if not more, than training the puppy right now, because kids can completely undo anything you try to do with the kids. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I understand how hard it is, because that I don't, but I do know what you have to do to be successful, or at least see some serious improvement. And I know you can do it. I've worked with enough people. I do have enough experience with kids growing up that I know that it can be done. So you homeschool. That's great. My cousin homeschools 4 boys, and I stalk her on Facebook, and so I know how crazy her days are. and it's really got to be organized, right? You have such varying age groups. You have to know so much, and you have to really be organized, all of your outings, to make sure the kids stay socialized and all of that stuff. So why is that not happening with the puppy and the kids' time with the puppy? So what I mean by that is I'm going to actually send you a mock schedule that I just made for someone else having the same problems as you with only 1 child. And it's also a 10-week-old puppy. So just so you kind of have a mock schedule and maybe to give you an idea. But that puppy should be on a really strict schedule and shouldn't be out running around more than an hour maybe. I mean, I don't know, like 15 minutes of some play fetch, maybe a little bit of tug of war if he's not getting too crazy. Work on some basic training for 10 minutes, back in crate for 2-3 hours. That's what it's got to be. Now, as far as your kids goes, they have to be on a schedule. No more overwhelming the puppy. This puppy is frustrated, overwhelmed, confused, and overtired. If it's whining all day in the crate, then it's not sleeping. And a puppy that age, 10 weeks old?
Yeah.
A puppy that age should be sleeping 18 to 20 hours a day. If it's not, do you remember when your babies were grouchy babies? If they were kept up or missed their nap, they're very grouchy. Add some sharp teeth and more mobility. Yeah, mobility, and you've got your puppy. Okay, so if it's not resting during the day and then when it's out, of course it's behaving that way. I get these types of things all the time. Although I will say yours seemed a little more desperate than most of them, but it is all kind of in the same realm of things. And I think yours is a little more desperate because you have 4 children, which most of the time I come across like 2 or 3, just to be honest. But 4, I mean that's really hard. So if you homeschool, I love the show The Nanny, the original Nanny. And I've seen so many episodes. I love that show back when I actually had time to watch it. And I loved how, especially with kids who were struggling with something or kids who were homeschooled, my cousin does this. I mean, there's charts of things they need to do, when they need to do it. Everything is so structured. You need that for your kids. It's not enough to tell them, don't mess with the dog. No, this isn't the dog's time. Don't set them up on a schedule. This is your time with the puppy. And I don't know, you can do something reward based, like if they work with the puppy on sit for, a few minutes, they get this. I'm going to let you do the specifics, but you've got to find some structure with your kids and then to really make them understand that it is not okay to bother the puppy in any other circumstance, just on their allotted time. And honestly, what I would do is for a good week, no kids. Take the kids out of it. There's no puppy time. Just tell them they got to take a break. The puppy needs a break and you need a break. 1 week, you just focus on the puppy. 5 minutes, 3 times a day if you can manage. Focused training along with some exercise, but not kid-oriented exercise like playing fetch or being on or working on come sit break. So come sit break is you get up in the morning, you get the kids doing their thing, and you grab a handful of kibble and you go in the backyard and you give some kibble to the dog, and then you call him over to you when he eats the kibble off the ground. Come, have him sit, drop a handful of kibble, go to the other corner of the yard. So it's come, sit, break. And break is just you give them the release word when you drop the kibble on the ground. That's constructive exercise. That's teaching come. So you do that for a week, really focused, right? The dog starts working for food. There's no excitement around him from the children, so it doesn't create this competition and this anxiety, hopefully, to be aggressive with the food. Because I'm guessing that's where...
Trying to escape? What is he doing?
I don't know. I think he's just getting bored. I think that's where your issue is likely coming from with what you think is coming across as aggressive. It's the energy and maybe some hesitancy with giving him food, which creates more competition. You okay back there, bud? Yeah. So for instance, when the kids, until you get a handle on this, the kids shouldn't even be feeding him anything. Because if I've seen kids who are a little unsure about something, they're a little bit like this, well, that's creating more distrust and more anxiety with the puppy. He's confused. So you got to stop that. They've got to stop all involvement for a while till you get like a little bit of a basics down, and then add in that structured involvement with them, supervised. And I don't mean 30 minutes to an hour. I mean...
No. He found his ball.
Oh, he found his ball. Here, bud. That's what he was smelling. He's like, yes! He brings his balls.
I hid it up there.
We put them on the top of the couch because he drives us crazy if he's not in place laying down. So sorry, what was I saying? So anyway, just to go even one step further, as far as watching the kids when they are with the puppy, one-on-one or at least two at a time, but yet back and taking turns. As soon as they pet that puppy, a puppy only bites if it's got the energy to bite or nothing else to focus on. So some puppies don't want to be pet if they just want to play, or if they're used to playing and already used to biting. That could be hard to counteract. So the best way to counteract that is don't pet the puppy at all. Create a drive for the puppy to want to be pet. And how you do that is to just stop petting and very structured, only work on your basic obedience and your exercise, which can be fetch or come, and crate time, and that's it. And then you'll create more of a calmer dog in general, and then a need to want to be pet. But anyway, so if you're petting your puppy, if the kids are petting the puppy, watch them, and as soon as there's teeth, the kids just stop, cross their arms, get up, walk away. That's something that you can do, but I think that you shouldn't even try that in the beginning. So instead, you spend a week doing some basics and maybe really working with your 8-year-old, maybe depending on his maturity level, the 7-year-old too, on how to do some basic hand motions for sit, maybe down, and then also come. And then they can help the little ones too. They can help supervise, give them some leadership positions. They can spend, time with a handful of kibble, working with their younger siblings. The girls, I think, are the youngest. Oh no, maybe not. Maybe the girl is 7. But some type of balance there for some leadership issue. That's fine as long as the puppy already has a little bit of a foundation. You can't expect that puppy to learn from other kids who don't learn. It doesn't usually work like that. You've got to work with the puppy first, leave the kids out of it, then bleed the kids in. It's so important because of the place you're at now. It's really important. So let's talk about a little bit about the food and treat aggressive. Typically, dogs can absolutely show aggression in litters. Absolutely. However, usually when that's transferred into the home, I only see that with dogs that are really confused, really frustrated about just what is going on, or there's a lot of energy around them, which creates like a competitive, unsure attitude, which breeds distrust. So just the kids have got to be out of the room. Now you can start working on. I have a video on how to teach a puppy how to wait for their food. Start working on that, and then teach your 8-year-old how to do it. After several days of success with the puppy, and once you get some success with the puppy, then teach the 8-year-old how to do it. That can be the 8-year-old or the 7-year-old's job. To only him needs to be in the room. And I don't care if they go in the backyard. I don't care if they go in the bathroom. Like, it needs to be just them and you supervising, but just nice and calm without all that noise around the puppy. Stuff like that. You need to get the puppy working for food, viewing food in a different light that comes from you. No more treats, just use kibble. And then last but not least, the crating issue. So I mean, I see that it looks like you have a house, like with a yard and with some space, hopefully. Find the furthest room in the house where the kids are usually active. And I know they're still going to be loud. I know that. The puppy's still going to hear them. But at least do the most distant place. Cover the crate with something dark so there's no shadows. And play some music or talk radio that's at a speaking level. Not really low, at a speaking level, to try to help drown out some of the noise. Because imagine being a puppy and trying to go to sleep, and then being jolted awake, and then just staying awake because he's staying in this drivey attitude because he can hear everything going on in the house. Same thing with the shadows. Puppies will look underneath the door all day long and look for shadows, and it actually teaches them to have more energy than they initially would have because it keeps them up staring and looking. It teaches them drive, looking for shadows under the door for when someone's going to come in and let them out. So that's something that I want you to work on. And then last but not least.
You just said last but not least.
I did?
This is like the next to last but not least.
I haven't even talked about what she should be working on, I don't think. Well, commonplace and down. Listen, like, there's actually a lot of puppy questions on here. Just listen to the whole thing or go to the timestamps and find stuff that says puppy. You might as well just do that on all my Q&As. She needs help.
Last but not least.
Last but not least, as far as the whining in the crate, you've got, right now at his age, you've got two options. First of all, I want to make sure that you're doing my crate video for how to create a calm state of mind in the crate. So if the dog is whining, I want you to go in there, open the crate just a couple of inches, and when he puts his little nose, bam, you shut that crate with a loud noise. Now, I'm not saying like bonk him in the head, but it won't hurt him if you do, so don't be worried about that. But just as soon as he starts to nudge his way out, just boom. And hopefully you'll get that. And then you shut the door and walk away. He whines again, come in, go to open the crate. He may if he's really drivey, but he likely won't come up to the door again. So then you just have to deal with him whining, but at least he's not like trying to get out. So you've cut that part of the anxiety, but now he's just whining in general, even though he won't come out. You got two options. Just a good, strong no. Bam!
Oh.
Right on top of the crate. Don't be mad. Don't be angry. Don't storm in there. Just walk in firm. No. And walk out.
Don't use any emotion.
No emotion. But it's quite possible that won't work either. So this is what I use with puppies a lot that have already been in the home and been whining a lot, because they've actually been, at this point, even if it's only been a couple weeks, he's actually conditioned to whine. So you're going to bonk him. And I have bunkers to show you because I just had an actual adult dog that the only thing that worked with her was bonkers.
It was bonkers.
Bonkers. A bonker, there is actual scientific blah, blah, blah on why these work, and I've spent enough of your time, so I'm not going to go into the psychological aspect of how this works with animal behavior. You can look up bonking by Gary Wilkes if you want to, as far as the concept, but this is all you do. You take a towel and you roll it up, you put a rubber band around it, you go in there. And dogs hate projectiles, okay? Nope. You dropped it.
Like ball?
Yeah, pretty much. No. So you go in there and just like I did, it's no, chuck it right at the crate. Boom. And the puppy goes, ah! And hopefully shuts up. It may take a few bonks, but it may take a few bonks, but hopefully that'll do it.
And you're hitting the crate, not the dog.
Yeah, you don't open the crate. Thank you. You
I
don't
thought
open
I would
the
just
crate.
point that out.
boom, you hit the crate. You hit the crate, preferably the front of the crate, but you know, you might need some aiming work if you haven't played softball in a while. But it's just something to startle them, and it's also a punishment. So there is my advice. And I know that was a lot of information, but besides that, just go on my website, roughstartrehab.com, go to the puppy videos section, and it has a lot of basics.
And they don't work for people.
Oh, I don't know about that. They might work on your kids.
She's tried this on me a few times, and I make some comments.
I wish I had these with my brothers.
Quite worked.
I might have.
It makes me want to make more comments. So, anyway.
Oh, yeah, don't let your children start throwing them at each other. I just thought of that. That's what my brothers would have done.
Don't let your kids...
My brothers would have put rocks in it and then threw it at me.
Or don't let the kids do this to the dog.
Yeah, oh, thank you.
No,
thank
see,
you. Look, you are useful. Look at you.
I was out of coffee, so I was getting a little energy.
So you were listening.
We're actually filming this really, really late at night because we both work really late. And so I had to drink her coffee and get a little extra.
Oh, there you go. Little boost.
A little boost.
Yeah, don't let the kids do this. They can't control their emotions, and the dog doesn't take them seriously. The dog has been disrespecting them for so long, and even if it's a week, that's so long. That's a lot of repetition. I can teach a puppy all their basics in a week.
And this could be bad behavior for kids anyway, because kids are kids.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So what I would do is just, you know, tuck 2 or 3 of these on the inside of the room, and don't bother with the kids.
Maybe do it where the kids don't see you with this.
Well, you would just need to explain to them what it is that she's doing.
Gotcha.
But yet they're not allowed to do it. But it does, I mean, the kids would be like, what the heck? Mom's gone crazy. So yeah, if they see you, you've got to explain it. And then in that case, I will just say that it's just a really well-known fact that animals hate projectiles. So, I mean, I can even, especially with like small dogs that just have a yapping issue, I can just toss a bonker at them a few times and they'll stop. Like without even a lot of basic training or foundation training, it's just an aversive. It creates an inhibition. Now that inhibition can absolutely wear off. It's something that you might need to do a few times, but it's a really simple, clean way that doesn't hurt the dog and isn't going to freak the dog out. It might not look that way at first, but trust me, the puppy will recover. But it's like a clean, easy way, because trust me, a couple seconds of, oh my God, what was that, is way better than that poor puppy stressing out all day long, boo-hooing in the crate. So that's like the trade-off here, is that you just nip it in the bud and say no.
Nip it in the bud.
You Barney Fife it and nip it in the bud, so the dog doesn't stay in that state of mind all day, because you could create an anxious, hypertension dog by doing that. So I hope that helps. That's a lot of info. Please let me know how it goes, you know, in the next few weeks. Not everything is going to work beautifully, so, you know, keep me updated. Train your kids.
What time is it?
What time is it? Oh, it's time for Chris's motivational quote of the day.
Drum roll.
All right.
You ready?
He's like dying to be released.
He's like, please give me my ball.
He wants to be released to get his ball.
All right.
I'm ready.
Motivational quote of the training questions and answers. If plan A didn't work, the alphabet has 25 more letters, so stay cool. You like that, right? Yeah. Yeah.
It's a funny one. It's a funny one. And
it's a game changer.
And it's a game changer. Yeah, it's a game changer. And it actually does have something to do with training.
Oh my gosh.
Really? I can apply everything to training. I can. You know, and training dogs is a lot like, you know, working with young children. There's a lot of similarities there. And basically every dog is different. There is no cookie cutter approach to every dog. So even though every dog that comes in here learns foundation work, the order might be different. The tools that I use on them, I might use in a different way. I don't use bonking with every dog. That's usually just puppies and maybe a few adults here and there. So it's like if your plan A doesn't work, what are you going to do? You just going to give up? You can't do that.
You can't, because there's 25 more letters in the alphabet.
There's 25 more letters.
That's right.
That you have to work with. So there's a lot of different methods.
Plan B, there's plan C. playing D, E, F. Keep going.
Is that as far as you can go?
I don't know anymore.
So there's a lot of different methods to dog training, and you really just have to do what feels right.
Hey, you know what? When the plan actually works, you can use a quote from the A-Team. You know what the quote is from the A-Team? Hannibal Smith always said it when something would work.
Only one quote per episode.
No,
Save
this
it.
is something else. This is not really a quote. This is a saying.
Same with the saying. You can't use multiple stuff. People probably aren't even watching anymore.
Hannibal Smith, whenever a plan would work, he would say, "I love it when a plan comes together." And then he would like light a cigar and smoke it. It's good times.
That's what I want all my people to do. When everything comes together and you start to see improvement, that's what I want you to do.
Light a cigar?
Yeah, we'll promote smoking on this show.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
No. All right. I'm ready to go to bed.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching question and answer number 5 of roughstartrehab.com. So, you want to find me? You need to go to Rough Start Rehab on Facebook. You can private message me, or you can just place a comment below this video and I will answer your question on the next Q&A. So again, go on my Facebook and private message me, Rough Start Rehab.com. Until next time. No, not .com.
Oh.
It's actually .page. It's Facebook. You don't listen.
.page.
Have a good week, everybody. It better still be recording.
I don't know.
Go check it.
Ow.